Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm just going to do a casual Friday Reads video. I've been reading a few things and I just thought I would talk about them. You guys know how Friday Reads videos works. Yeah, so I figured that this is probably like a good thing to do like once a month-ish to just talk really briefly about some of the things that I've been reading that I don't necessarily want to do full reviews of, and I don't really see it as like a wrap up either for whatever reason. I think because I'm just going to do these whenever I feel like it. All right, so first up I have Night Theater by Vikram Parlikar. I probably put the emphasis on the wrong syllable on that last name. This is a book I was sent by Catapult, which is a smaller press that I really enjoy. I usually, for the most part, like the books that they put out, and I did like this one as well. This is a very tiny, short book, and it's one of those books that's probably best read in one sitting. In this story, you are following this doctor who works in this smaller town in India, and he's like a little bit of a bitter man. He is underwhelmed by the work that he's doing and the resources that he has access to. For example, at the start of the story, when the day begins, they plan on giving a vaccine. I don't remember which vaccine it is, but they plan on giving a vaccine to like all of the kids in this village, and they like made announcements and like put out flyers and all this stuff to make sure that as many people as possible would come and get this vaccine for their kids. However, when the day starts, the vaccine like isn't at the clinic yet, and like this officer just comes like strolling in with the vaccines without realizing like what a time constraint they're on, and the fact that there are all of these people who are waiting for this vaccine and stuff like that. And so like this doctor is very frustrated by like the way things seem to be going in this village. And so like they go through the first day, and at night this family like comes to the clinic, and it's a husband and wife and their son, and they come asking for the doctor's help. And it turns out that this family is dead, and they have been like granted this like one wish to return back to Earth, and they can only speak to this one doctor, and this one doctor is the only person who could potentially help them come back to life. So this is a really like interesting book that explores a lot of different topics in a very short amount of time. This all takes place over the course of like 24 hours or so. Like I said, it's really good to read all in one sitting. I think I read this all on like a Saturday morning or something like that. And it explores things like humanity and family and like the way you treat other people, but also like larger topics like corruption and stuff like that in India. It has this fable-like style to it. So if you're someone who enjoys stories that are kind of like allegorical in tone, I think that this would be a good one for you guys to pick up. There are parts of this that aren't like super satisfactory to me, so I didn't like completely fall in love with this book, but I enjoyed reading it for sure. I also recently read The Vanishing Star by Maureen Johnson. This is the second book in the Truly Devious series. I read the first book called Truly Devious when it came out, I think in 2018, I want to say, and I'm pretty sure I did a review on it. If I did, I'll link to it in the card. My main takeaway from that book was I was really enjoying it, and then I got to the end and I didn't realize this book was a series, and the first book ends on a cliffhanger, and so it made me really upset. And so I basically said I wasn't going to continue on with the series until it seemed like there was going to be an end to it. And so the third book just came out, and it's the final book in this trilogy. And so I was like, okay, time to keep going with the series. So I picked up the second book. Second book was okay. I think it suffers from that like second book slumpiness of trying to progress things along, but also like nothing really happens. Like the first part of the book feels like a significant amount of catch up, and then the last parts of the book, or the middle parts of this book, just feel like you're treading water, and then a whole lot of stuff happens at the end of this book. It ends on like quite another cliffhanger type of ending. It's not quite as much of a cliffhanger as the first book, or maybe it didn't feel like quite as much of a cliffhanger because I knew there was a third book coming this time. But yeah, I thought this one was okay. I'm still like really interested to see where this whole thing goes, and I'm still of the opinion that this should have just been a single book, or the entire mystery should have been contained in a single book and then continue on with the series with different mysteries. But that's just my personal opinion. Also, in case you guys didn't see, I read Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed, and I did a full review on this one, so I'm not going to talk too much about it here. because I did a full review on it. Needless to say, I really enjoyed it. So definitely check out that review if you're interested in my opinions on this book. Okay, and then the final thing that I have finished recently, besides stuff that I've been reading for the BookTube Prize, is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. This is a mystery book that came out last year. I read this one for the Read or Dead podcast, which I have linked down in the description in case you want to check it out. But we decided to do mysteries with a sort of romantic element attached to it, and this was an interesting pick because it is kind of like that, but it's also kind of not like that. So in this book, you are following this couple who have been married for a little while. They have 2 kids, and they are falling into kind of a rut in their marriage. And then they realize through circumstances that murdering people kind of revitalizes their marriage. And so they go on a very small killing spree. This whole concept is so weird to talk about as if it was real. The last person that they murdered was named Lindsay, and the way that they sort of get their victims is the husband pretends to be someone else, kind of flirts with the girl, whatever. They start going on a couple of dates, and then eventually they'll kill the girl. And with this last girl, Lindsay, something happens where their daughter ends up getting sick. She was at a sleepover with friends, and the parent calls them saying that she's getting sick. So the wife stays with the victim to take care of all of it, and then the husband leaves to go get the daughter and take her home. And so all of this happens, and then flash forward a year, and the body of this victim, Lindsay, is finally found, and it turns out that she had only been killed or dead a couple of days ago, and it turns out that the wife has been keeping this woman alive for a year, which the husband didn't realize. And this kind of starts off a series of events, and I won't say more than that because part of the fun of this book is just kind of seeing what happens. Story flashes back and forth in time, so you see a little bit of their life together, how they met, and sort of how this whole situation got started and stuff like that. But it's also dealing with the current day mystery and thriller aspect of it as well. This is a book that requires you to suspend a significant amount of disbelief in order to have fun with it, but it's a really fun book. I read this while on a plane recently, and it's a perfect plane ride book. It keeps you occupied, it keeps the pages turning. Did I love this book? Not necessarily, but it's a fun beach read sort of book. So yeah, if you are looking for something that's a little bit darker for this Valentine's Day, I definitely recommend it. I talk about it more in the Read or Dead podcast, so again, I have that link down below if you want to check it out. But yeah, this is probably a 3 out of 5 star book for me, but it was fun to read. Alright, so to wrap things up, I'm just going to talk quickly about some of the things I'm currently reading / plan on reading. I'm currently reading Silver Sparrow by Tayari Jones. Tayari Jones wrote An American Marriage, which I loved. I am almost done with this book. I'm probably 60% of the way through it, and I'm really enjoying it. There's a good chance I'm going to do a full review on it because I feel people are interested in this book because of An American Marriage. This was published before An American Marriage, if that wasn't clear. And yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I kind of want to talk about it a little bit. So there's a very good chance this will be reviewed in the future. I have my issues of Giant Days to catch up on, volumes 3 and 4. This is for my comics challenge thing, and so I need to read this because I'm running behind already on this. It's halfway through the month, and I probably should have read these by now, but I went on vacation, didn't bring them with me. It's fine. I also put a video up on the Book Riot channel, kind of doing a Black History Month TBR. I always do this over on Book Riot where I make sort of a loose TBR pile talking about some of the books I want to read. So if you're interested in some of the books I could potentially be reading over the course of this month, feel free to check out that video because I have a number of books on there that I'm going to try to read. I probably won't read all of them, but I like making my piles larger than what I actually will read. And then other than that, I'm going to be trying to work my way through a couple more BookTube Prize related books. I'm currently doing the nonfiction books for this round, and I have read one of them so far, so I want to get through 2 more by the end of the month. Obviously, I won't be talking about those in videos until after this round is over, and so I'll wait and do one big wrap up of all of the books that I read for the BookTube Prize and give my opinions on them like a lot of other people do. So that is everything I have. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys have been reading recently, or if you've read any of the books that I've talked about here, feel free to leave comments down below letting me know what you guys thought of them. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.